They say that the dead die not, but remain, near to the rich ears of their grief and mirth, and watch the moon, and the still raging seas, and men coming and going on the earth. That was written by Rupert Brooke before he died in 1915. Words, poems, and stories, they convey so much more than simple facts. For example, the Battle of Passchendaele took place near the Belgian village of Ypres on the 12th of October 1917. In the first 4 hours, 846 New Zealanders were killed, and a total of over 2,700 New Zealanders were dead, wounded, or missing by the battle's end. These facts tell us hardly anything of what the event was truly like. I need not repeat what you already know. Years of Anzac days have impressed upon us the unspeakable horrors of war. But Passchendaele stands out with a unique horror of its own, which made it known as the bloodiest battle of the Western Front. It was the wettest autumn in living memory, and the constant rain combined with the ferocious bombardment of millions of shells churned the land into a hellish landscape of mud and craters. In these conditions, pre-battle shelling did nothing to clear the battlefield. Soldiers went into no man's land to face slaughter in the face of an impassable entanglement of barbed wire. But one was more afraid of drowning than being hit by shells or bullets. Passchendaele's infamous gluey mud pooled under the bodies of the dead and living alike, everything from horses to tanks being sucked into the earth. Yet we today hear this information with detachment. For how can we relate when we have fortunately never been involved in war? I believe that before we can comprehend the significance of Passchendaele, we must first understand what happened on a personal scale. And who am I to tell the stories of the dead? I'll let them speak for themselves.
This was the first time I'd been in action, and I was petrified. I hoped I'd sprain my ankle, or the whole thing would be called off or something like that. The ghastly hour got nearer and nearer.
The whole hillside rocked like a ship at sea.
If you can imagine a flock of sheep lying down in a field, the bodies were as thick as that. All the world's dead. They're all dead. They're all dead. That's all I could think as I crawled along.
I thought to myself, I wonder what it would be like to be dead.
We found we literally couldn't walk without treading on bodies. We'd seen plenty of dead people before, but never anything like this.
I remember trying to help a lad. There was no hope of getting to him. He was struggling in this huge sea of mud, but I couldn't do a thing. He was only a mere boy.
All over the battlefield, the wounded were lying down, English and German, all asking for help. I came across a man ripped from shoulder to waist with shrapnel, his stomach on the ground beside him in a pool of blood. As I got to him, he said, "Shoot me." He was beyond all human aid. Before we could even draw a revolver, he'd died. He just said, "Mother." I will never forget it.
Now with this human connection, perhaps we can understand a little of what it meant to go to war. These stories only brush the surface of the experiences at Passchendaele. From them, we can see the true enormity of the battle's impact, when these stories are multiplied by the sheer numbers of men involved. Whether the sacrifice was big or small, everyone gave up something for the good of a greater goal. There is no excuse for such senseless carnage, for so futile an outcome as there was at Passchendaele. But remember the good that came from the bad. Be proud in the knowledge that New Zealanders are united by the Kiwi spirit that remains as strong today as when it was forged in those tough times many generations gone. New Zealand soldiers aren't just this ambiguous entity. They were thousands upon thousands of individuals, as real and alive as you and I. So let's not reduce Passchendaele to facts and figures. Seek out the stories, read their poems, listen to their interviews, and then we'll understand the real effect of war on people's lives. If the dead do die not, but remain, watching us, the heirs of their grief and mirth, coming and going on the earth, they would be honoured to see that their legacy is remembered.